Dokes, hello. We're in and we're going. Funny we'd started trading this morning at about 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Had a couple of good entries. Been on the market since about 8 o'clock, which is around this sort of breakout point. This was at 8:10, 8:05. Sorry, this candle opened. And by about 8:10, I had my position in, pretty much moved that across one, so that we know on that bullish candle. We had a bit of a pullback bit here, but yet again, my safety of reserve, aiming to the middle. 1 minute time, harder to see, but we can see it here, aiming at the bottom. Maybe if I'd aimed for the top, I'd have been in this trade by now, because I had the feeling where it stagnated at this point, this level here, it would come back to this pivot. Sorry, this pivot was a support level that broke, and it did actually come back and treat it as a support level, but obviously I was the wrong side of the breaker box. Trying to keep more safe than anything. In terms of the regards for the minutes, we did actually get a breaker off of this candle here to break above this because it had created structure, but I didn't move to chase it. As we can see, it's pushing back a little bit deeper. There's a high chance that it might not get any higher than this, given that this was quite a resistance level area from yesterday night, should I say. This was during the day yesterday. That's probably just meeting those highs from effectively yesterday evening. But we'll see. We'll leave the trading where we're at. I'm not going to move this up. Probably might live to regret it, because this might be like an order block just here. A bit closer for you. This area here might be the order block. It might just come down to tap into this, and then it will drive up again. But actually, because this was the half-hour close up here, and 8:30 starts on this candle. Let's push down, come up, and then come back, and it's closed pretty much at the same level. So it's almost like a doji. Let's check that half-hour candle. No, it's not a doji. No, fine. Definitely got enough body. But we can see it's come all the way back down. This would be this level here, the bottom wick of this candle. Be where my entry point should have been, because that's kind of the pivot of these wicks. It was lower. Then given how up and down it is, this is quite bearish. It could be the sign of a reversal. It may have accepted that this is the top, given that we've got a 30-minute breaker block here. It's tapped into it, taken some orders, tapped into it, and it's just taken that one last tap just to clear it out, to drive down. So we had started to form from overnight, from yesterday, and then overnight a bit of a wedge. I marked that on again, that breakout. Time frame down to about 5 minutes. Did that breakout, and then it taps in there pretty perfectly against that wedge, in line with all of this sort of what was support. So yeah, would have been a better entry point, to be fair. Wouldn't have made it all the way to target, but we would still be in a trade, although we'd only just be in a little bit of profit at the moment. But I do feel like that maybe here is effectively a newer order block, where it's just picked up from this breaker block. It will potentially sort of recoil back up. Kind of has just picked up from there, exactly where I said, with the long wick bullish candle. It's good to read it. Like I said, I could have chased it, I could have moved my entry level up, but I try not to chase trades. I've spent some time, however long ago, probably a year or so ago, where I would feel like I needed to chase that entry trade. Entry to a trade, sorry. I'd end up getting my fingers burnt, or whatever the saying is. There's no saying that this now becoming a resistance level. Struggled to break through, and then it broke half 8, come up and created that type of candle, and we've stopped again in this area. Now we've broke down, coming up, it meets it as resistance and it carries on, comes back down to this sort of trend line range. In fact, let me get rid of this wedge because we're out in the wedge now. I'll leave that one there. What I'll do is I'll follow this as the trend line from this morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So we could still come back down, check into this breaker block, which would be in line with the trend for the day, and then it can carry on and push up and come up to take up the liquidity on the 5-minute time frame that's just up here. Yeah, or maybe even further up. Zoom back in on that. What I wanted to do, zoom back in on that 5-minute time frame. You can see, although we've got rejection wicks, they're very bearish. Advice to me that maybe it's going to keep pushing. Obviously, like I say, the 1-minute candle was similar to this one at the bottom here, similar to this where it's quite bullish. So we're just going to leave it. It feels like it could just be creating support resistance along this level, miniature sort of climbing order blocks along this level. So it's kind of building liquidity really, but I'm going to stay where I am. I'm in the middle of the 5-minute breaker block pretty much. So I've covered myself kind of down to this one, which is where the morning started. We got 650 bullish breakout, and it instantly collected from that, and it went. Would have been nice to have been on this breaker block at sort of 7 o'clock this morning, but not the times I trade, so I wouldn't be doing that. See that is kind of pushing back a bit further now. But let's just check that hourly candle actually. What sort of form is it? Yeah, so the wick was on the previous hour. So from 9 o'clock, we've just been kind of pushing down. It closed quite high on the hourly. Not quite breaking this bullish, but the wicks were meeting where the tops were. There's potential that we could just tap back in and go. Break out of this sort of minor wedge that we've created above the bigger wedge on the daily. Because that's this line here is actually the top of a falling wedge that the gold has been in for quite some time. See, this is on the daily now. And we had the week before last where it's broke it, hit into a pocket of resistance and a breaker block actually, and then drive. And Friday was a very big drive. But we can see yesterday, although it was a rejected, it was still a bearish drop. But we could just be pulling back, checking onto this sort of top line of the falling wedge, to then continue up, maybe take this liquidity or to tap into this breaker block. We've got some targets up to like 1972 potentially, which is here, so above all the little liquidity pools that we've got on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so it is kind of forming itself a double wick. So, yeah, a double wick, a bearish bullish. Still got a minute left on that candle though, so it could prove us wrong and go the opposite way. Yep. Gonna leave it where it is. Do have red folder retail sales later today, USD 130. Up to that point, we've got a couple of bits of news that nothing really major. 1 o'clock, FOMC member William speaks. So that may just bring some volume into the market a little bit early. But obviously with the CAD having some red flags as well, the Canadian dollar generally can create sort of hyper reactions, as well as the fact that at the same time it's the retail sales. Next forecast is 0.2, previous was 0.6, so I feel like it's going to be dropping potentially, depending on whether their forecast is accurate, so to speak, or not. It sort of feels like they're trying to make the dollar stronger. So we'll see. Yeah, can't really predict or anything to that. We're just going to have to see how the strategy performs against it and where we're at. I'm going to sit on that 5 minutes and just sit down, chill out, just see what happens. It'd be interesting if this sort of stalls in the sort of consolidation area, should we say. There's potential that we could, crooked as it would be, we could have like a head and shoulders effectively. Maybe move that up, move that down. It's all kind of there and thereabouts, isn't it? So I don't see that. I don't necessarily see it forming strong constructive manner. I'm glad we didn't chase, because at the minute breaker blocks, I mean, because here was where we got one, this candle, the breaker block was there, so that would have potentially come quite far down, if not nearly touching our stop loss. Tell you what, let's chuck it into where we probably could have. Oh no, we're all right. We would have been safe. It would only be a break even. It would have been quite stressful for the last 10 minutes, just sitting there watching it come down in strength, hoping that there's an order block here, and just wasn't too confident given how close we are to that 5 minute liquidity, because we've kind of come up to it, and it's like we've had wicks to take the orders from it. So although we've got a liquidity pool effectively at the top, or like a volume pivot point, it's only 338. The one above it is 849, so that's a stronger one, but then that was news related. But yeah, a lot of the orders have kind of been taken out. We've got our pivot here. Zoom in just for a bit. We've got our pivot here, and it sort of broke away. It didn't break the low or the support until this candle here. But before that, we had the high wick. So it's come back up and collected those orders, and then got the sell strength to break through the support level. Obviously, this is overnight, so volume's a lot lower, or overnight for me. Some sort of consolidation effectively, and then one final pickup here, which kind of matches the wick for these orders that are there, given that this range here been kind of busy overnight. That was at the end of the day last night, sort of 4 or 5 o'clock going into the evening. There was a lot sort of consolidation, there's no fair value gaps, there's no like voids or balances or anything, and then this final one filled it. But to me, this would be the stronger point of pivot, and we've got there. And when we got there, granted we didn't wick it, but we did hit that point and then reject and come straight back down again. It does mean that now if we go, we're going up here, because everything in this area effectively cleared. There's no sort of voids or balances or anything to kind of fix, so it can just generate its new one by powering through to the upside, potentially tapping here or up to this level, looking at this structure to the left. equally, which is now obviously a contradiction, but equally, because we've taken sell orders, sell orders, sell orders, and then just that final sort of grab of it, we could be just creating structure as if it was a false breakout to the bullish, and it can come back down, and it can just come straight back into this falling wedge that we've got here, because that's a big distance. It might not look like a lot on the daily. That is a big distance, so we could quite easily fall back in. It could just be a wedge, false breakout, that's what I was looking for. Get a little bit of a wedge to come back into this daily wedge, honestly. False breakout and then sell off. Again, if we sell off, we've got sort of, not free fall, but we've got plenty of room because of the Friday pressure of it just skyrocketing. But I'm more inclined to believe on the bullish side of things, just given the sort of safe haven of precious metals attitude. But we'll just see. We'll see how it goes, how it plays out. We're marked up. Sure, soon we'll probably get another structure break or some sort. But we are holding again in this area. It's not a consolidation, but like a bit of a sideways range. Effectively, if I can just mark that out. Here in this range, it's sort of fitting nicely actually. It come down, hit there, come down, not quite hit there, but a lot of them didn't bottom out as well. Let's hit the top again. We're kind of hanging out in that range area. Potentially can come back down, break the range low, hit this potential trend line, hit this potential trend line, like the daily sort of pattern that it is, wick us into our trade, and then it can go, because this whole area cleared out. The volume and the noise has finally gone. Like I said earlier, everything above it as well kind of been taken out as it's stepping itself down for the breakout. And that's where my mind's at the moment. I'm going to just slide this along a bit though. Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, I'll move it that way. Let's say we're in a trade though, isn't it? Let's just do that. The reason I do that, I want to sort of clear the chart a little bit. The colour sometimes jars my eyes. There is kind of a head and shoulders forming because it's coming back down now. It's not a clean structure. You could say that this was a right shoulder, head, left shoulder, but then it didn't break the neck, so it doesn't count as a reverse. Oh, that's the wrong... Got the wrong date on my stream. It's the 17th today, isn't it? Delete! We sort of kind of just hanging out in that area still. It's making its way back down, so it is effectively creating. Could say like the Head and Shoulders. Hoorah! Stretch time already. Love looking out the window. Just got fields and trees. Beautiful. See today. Lid that can go on it. keep that heat in so the cup works as a. It is finding support here. Even on the 1 minute, got 1 minute chart open as well to my left. Still kind of holding it. It feels like it wants to push down. Come to here. Come to the bottom of this 1 minute breaker maybe. Collect up the final sort of. Look like has already been done. This wick and bullish candle that's on that to the side, but just tap back into this breaker there. Reach the bottom of it and go. Very nice, thank you. I go, I mean, all the way back up. Just sitting in that support zone at the minute. Not support zone, range. I suppose it still is it is still kind of a support zone, isn't it? Ba, 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 bong. Why's the music stopped? Talking of bong 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 bongs. Are doing much or going anywhere? Well, I am still. Just that time of day, isn't it? Got there a little bit earlier this morning, to be fair. Yesterday. Bit of a move at sort of 10:30, and then we didn't really get much. But we got a spike at sort of 1, then you get your bigger candles for the American markets and it dies off. We generally captured a decent sort of starting move or anything, so like again, decent starting move. Black rain. Good, nice and chill there. Where the temptation to chase comes in. Feel like nothing's happening, so you're kind of forcing the issue of getting a trade. But then, say I'd force the issue of getting a trade at any point here, long or short, I'd still be just sitting at break even. Is then just unnecessary stress of, oh, which way is it going to go? I feel like just keeping keen to your strategy. Where you think your entry point is going to be, you're right or you're wrong, but this is where you think it's going to be. There's been a move away from that point, or it's back to that point, rather than sort of sitting in some sort of sideways range consolidation, being like, oh, it's going, no, yep, no. I think if you were going long at this point, saw that big bullish sort of candle, and you thought, oh yeah, let's just do that, and you'd get into it. Never get much higher. Like always teetering. Say your entry point was along here, you'd be teetering on like break even with odd little spikes, and then fall back and then a big spike. You'd sort of see this go and think, okay, we're making a new high finally. Yep, that's the one. But then, ooh, gone. You'd be out of the trade. If we had some structure where it was actually pushing up in steps comfortably, you could then know like this, where it's stepping up. You then know that on that pullback, you've got more chance of it actually going long in that respect. Yeah, for now. So we're kind of pushing down here, kind of breaking. See the resistance that was up here is becoming less and less. So potentially quick wick down, pick up these final orders that are waiting here, mine included, and then it can carry on pushing up and the price can keep rising. Oh, it appears it's going now. Never mind. It's just that starting to pull back, but not particularly holding that range. I've got 30 seconds left, so yeah. Okay. Got a bit of a drop going. Like this sort of bullish candle kind of insinuates that it wants to push up. Hoping it comes low enough to tip it in. A little bit to try, but push down, tag us in, it can drive up. Not making it low enough, is it? Right. It's just oh. Okay. Oh, my posture's horrendous. I keep slouching. Far up can I take this before my camera gets yanked or force the issue for me to have to touch straighter? There we go. Makes me look like a midget on the camera, but be it. And move it. Not working. I'll put it like. I'm gonna put it there. We'll see. We'll see. No. Oh. Still a bit weird, isn't it? To get used to it, although I wouldn't be able to have my cup or anything. The angle's a bit strange, like, oh, it's a bit low. Really long neck now. There's no pleasing, is there? I'm not going to go with that. Just gonna have to look down, I think. I mean, I could move it further over. Gives me a bit more slack. Do that. Go there. Right. Okay. Wonk. Whatever. It'll do. There we go. Go with that. Go with that. I'm gonna have to work out a way that I can raise this up. I'm pretty much at maximum for the length of the cord on my camera. A way that I can raise it up higher so I can actually use the standing desk to stand up. Put an extension on it, but then it glitches out in the sense that it doesn't work. Great description. I think it's just is what it is. Got any hourly breaker blocks? Breaker blocks. 2 minutes. Is that one, isn't it? That it's into. Been halfway in it already. clouds are starting to clear. The sun's starting to get up. That blue skies over there. Shine. It's literally just coming round. Another hour and then I'll be whitewashed. Okay, new hourly candle just started. See, got a bullish one that closed here for the hourly because it's these two together. More bearish one that's closed here. Those two. We've not been able to break this support levels. Okay. Goes again, look. Fresh hour. A little bit of volume picking up in there. Happening at 10. Was it the euro, wasn't it? Yeah. Got euro news. Euro can sometimes affect the charts, to be fair. If there's, oh, can I? I was going to say if I could zoom in on this to make it fill the screen a bit better, guys, but can't. Yep. So that euro news definitely has affected the volume of it, but how's it going to finish though? Is it going to end up like this one? Already created its bottom wicks into this with the start of the push up already. Oh, didn't make it far enough down to the breaker. Still stick by my opinion though. Forcing the entry while it's sort of sitting a little bit sideways, it's just too much of a gamble. Because if that had done this, like the size of that candle, but the opposite way, we'd be like placing a stop loss basically. Okay. Fine, never mind.
How are you doing? We're having a...
What the hell? Need to click on that. Well, there you go. Could that just be the 10 o'clock top wick? You know, coming up to these tops again for it to come down. I'd be a little bit wary, to be honest, if it is a top. If that's a top wick and it comes down. Be concerned that that's the direction change. Not going to know that for an hour. Have a little check on the minutes and see if we've got. So we have just created a breaker. Similar place actually. The one that was here. I believe the one that was here was that cat there. But it is in a similar place. We've been sitting in that, and if we'd gone for that entry, like chasing that 1 minute marker, we're waiting all this time, pretty much sitting at break even and in a loss. See now how it's broken, tapped back into it effectively. Maybe it is worth moving the entry. Going to. Goes against what I'm saying. Even though it has broken out, good, you know, broken out of this range that we were sitting in. A little bit of sideways for the last hour or so. Euro was good. Both reports came out good. Yesterday. Well, let's have a little quick exit. Monday. Minutes on. Clock. Pretty much here actually. Yeah. Top news. Did create another little push up, and it was good for the euro, and it created a push. Good news for the euro means good news for gold. Once I've ever noticed that. If ever I get bored and want to do a little bit of digging and researching, I could sort of back test against euro news, see if it affects gold. Obviously, it wouldn't in the same way that the dollar does, because that's a trade pair, but nice bottom wick for that hourly candle. Breaking those fires, but not stagnating around this one. There's just a little push of volume. Good news, a few people just put a bit of into the gold. Do break back in, clear that breaker block. A bullish 5 minute candle straight off the bat for that hourly. Brightness is coming. I'm starting to squint. Curtain closed. You can see my order blocks. Top one actually, well, actually it has been tapped here. Yeah, discussed that earlier. All been taken out. We obviously have this new one, which was the latest. They're potentially weak order blocks at the top. Ones from the bottom. See, this one was clearly wiped out. That one was taken and broke the structure. I mean, I feel like my entry is pretty secure to be reserved rather than trying to aim above it. Yeah, I would have been tapped into the trade. We'd be sitting in profit, agreed, but I feel like sitting down at this point, because we're on the 1 minute time frame, and on the 5 minutes, that's in the middle of it. This order block for the 1 hour, 1 minute order block, let's just box it. Click back to 5 minute. 15. See, the order block is actually at the bottom. Even though we've got this one at the top on the 5 minute, which is affected. Christ, look at that. That was from the Monday open. That's still just tapped into the middle of this. Got a break. To be fair, by the time that this come back and tapped into that and then went, this order block wouldn't have been displayed anyway. So, but still, I'm quietly comfortable with that. Box up. It would be a decent profit. There's no two ways about it. It's this one. 650. I was awake at sort of 7. Up and at them. I haven't particularly look at the charts by 7 o'clock, so but that would have been a nice fine entry. Kind of pull back to the source of this bullish candle here. Nice long wick, finished bullish, and then a big sort of impulse drive afterwards. Then it pulled back, and then again bullish candle, nice little bottom wick, and impulse drive. Came back, cleared that order, cleared. These orders have all been cleared here. Cleared that order, and then it's gone. Riding up. Gradually, but it's riding up. But that's where that 1 minute breaker was. Holding it, or is it broken it? Holding it. Almost feels uncertain. Probably another one of these sort of just rangy things, and then it'll break and carry on, and then just unnerves it. Yeah, it unnerves me. I think that's the right turn of phrase. Because the later into this hour we go, if it starts to pull back closer to sort of midday, gets closer to the American Open, bring in more volume. Potentially it could then push deeper, come back down to one of these sitting there. They might look at this and see that as a support line. So as it pushes back, all these orders sitting in there for the bigger players, price manipulation will push deeper, quicker false breakout, and then just go. I don't know. Feel like it is going. Could reach up to here. That high again. And another break alert. We're back in the fold again of chasing. Do we, don't we, do we, don't we? Because we're out of this area. We've pushed, broken. We're getting the breaker block for the next set. As this continues to go up, and 11 minutes left on this candle, the half-hour candle. As this continues to go up, it just feels more risky to have like a long trade sitting at this point. Looking at where all these sort of supports and wicks and everything finish, it is around here. These bottom wicks are outside the stop loss. These ones are pretty much tapping on the stop loss. So like if it did turn about now and come down, hard to say whether it would respect this downtrend and then push, or whether it's already done that here. So if it comes down, it would break back into it. I mean, it is going. We've got a 5-minute breaker as well. Like that's too close to my original take profit, liquidity, and the risk gets higher if I chase it up. Because it's got that bullish momentum from that Euro news that it is just going to keep breaking through. So What do we reckon? Where do we want to go? Box that off. I'll probably dip back in and go before I have a chance to make my... Okay, so that covers the 1 minute ones off. Go to entry there. Buy. That's the top of that 1 minute breaker. It covers this other 1 minute breaker. The top third of the 5 minute breaker. I did think to myself this morning before I actually started onto the trade that I'd potentially just be a little bit more aggressive with my entry, sort of aim more to the top of the breakers, and then I still didn't. Hey, we're at that liquidity. Look, it has gone to it. Right in it. We've got 2.5 minutes still, so it could go right through it. I feel like it would like to, given what I said earlier about the weakness of everything, in the sense that the sell orders have been taken. Pop back down to the 1 minute. So again, we've got that one. If I'd moved it, we'd be in. I just can't do the chasing. It's good to know that throughout the analysis, though, like, it's correct. It's just that my entry point is just potentially too safe, too reserved. Maybe. We would be pretty much hitting TP now if I'd taken that. That's where that entry level is there. If we was up here, we'd probably be looking at more here, 1924 area. It appears that it would be going there. We're well into the 30-minute breaker block now. We're well into the 5-minute liquidity. It is all there. Everything's playing out, and we're getting a bullish breaker block there. Again, means that is too low. So if we break this breaker block, we're pushing down. Okay, so I might actually just delete this trade off for now. The drive has happened. We're not in it. Fair enough. It is what it is. Given where the structure is breaking, if it comes back down and breaks this structure, potential that it's going to keep going. Like we had the minor support level here, where we could have caught that entry. Looking back, still there here, but then there's a lot of potential for it to be lower, actually be on this point. So like this, let's just draw it on. This is the support level. This was just a money grab to start the day. 3 o'clock in the morning, but the money grab, start the day. It's broke back through that, found the support line again, and then it's gone all day. Potentially could come back to this point, if not push down to the bottom of these or the bottom of these, or this liquidity. Like, it's got options to push down to. And if we're tapping into this breaker block, if we make it up to that liquidity, that's quite a big pull. 3,500 on the volume and the pivot of everything for that. and 3.2 for this one at the bottom. It's quite a high number. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna delete my place trades. Come on, turn it on. So happens that it would have worked out, be it. Let's just clear that off. Pop back down to this 5 minute. Do we want to? I mean, that broke. That's definitely closed within that liquidity. 100%. Now the question is, do we want to have a trade here? Half hour is about to close. Got 3 minutes left. So this last candle is the last candle of the half an hour candle. Depending on how far back this comes, depends on how long it makes the wick. Got 10 o'clock here. So this was the start of the candle. Still bullish, but depends how much it pulls back, if at all, at this point. I am tempted by this as an entry, just because we've got the structure back again. So that 1 minute is creating a very strong bearish turnaround. Got two bears, a small ball, but then this wick up, collecting the orders down. Curtain still. Go for the other one. Excellent. Okay, how and where are we feeling? Should have just dragged and moved them, really, shouldn't I? Point. 1921 point. Oh, I agree. Pretty much bang on the 1921. Putting it in, we'll see how it goes. Lost actually. Right on that. Right on that origin for the 10 o'clock candle. Then this is the support line now. Yeah. Similar. If you're looking left, see here, that was a support line. This is a resistance which now broke. Equally, these sort of extend into it, kind of cover this slight consolidation before that break again. With the 10 o'clock that broke through, consolidate, broke through. We're starting the new 30-minute candle. It does feel intimidating, I'm not going to lie, because if that does wick and come down, then it's making equal highs are broken in terms of open close point. And again, it's just broken in terms of open close point. But it could wick up, so we've got wick, and then this could just drop bearish. Same sort of thing here. Yeah. Obviously, it thinks that 15 minutes are there as well. Feels like just because of that Monday open, it's created such a big order or breaker block. There's a gap up here. I mean, obviously it closed here and opened here, so there's a huge gap, but between the candles. But closing deep into this, sort of the liquidity in the pivot implies to me that what I was saying earlier is correct. And the big candles that we've got, again, it's correct. Big bullish, big bullish, big. What I said would happen. So it's correct. My entry was too reserved again. Now we're at where we are. I'd caught it from my original at the start, lower, but actually caught it down there. We'd be out the trades, TP hit. Is what it is. going on? There we go. We're all back online. Sorry about that. I just had to, I've got to pop down, sort of let the dogs out, sort the dogs out, make sure they've got something to drink and everything. So yeah, they've obviously got something to drink, but just to sort of check on it. The bowl's nice and topped up. While I was away, we've obviously had a bit of a dip down, which is good. Good. Pull back to here, go, claim that liquidity and keep going. Feels bullish still, the way it's finished into that. Okay. Music stopped again. Why does it do this? Oh, it's because there is only 5 tracks on it. 6 tracks. No. Oh, okay, yeah, so it is on the same. Does that loop? Is that going to loop just the song? Okay. Leave it as it is. Okay, yeah, look at that. Had a sudden little surge just before it closed. If we have any other. Try this one. We've got a few streams that don't actually have any copyright. Okay, one of them's been partially blocked. Jump right at the end of that candle close. Knew it was still going to be bullish. Since it's going to make it back to that liquidity. It did.
There's a reason she's alone. You can't pin her down because no needs her home. I need her around. She says there's beauty in the hills, chip in the sky. So don't be sad because I'm wrong. It keeps me alive. To impress her, it's too damn hard. To stay loyal without
Too much? Oh my gosh. I don't think that looks bad, actually, colour wise. That orange. Haven't got any now. That's the half hour. Is that still a thing? It is still. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad being in orange. I'll leave it there for the time being. Oh. Hide that. Wait, then we've got the colours on the template, so that'll be. Make them like impossible. Does a little. Go large. It's a little bit easier for you guys to see. Change your size, how much of the pin, but. Go. So we've just formed another 1 minute breaker. Diving back into it, so I've moved up to here. Be in it. Can't move that quick. Bit presumptuous. So we put it halfway. Stop. B. A ways away, down actually pretty much down where that white line is. Again, that would be chasing. My eyes. My opinion, chasing. And there is a slight level of support there. Could very easily break it. Back down. No real wicks at the level. Got many options that could become minor support. So you've got the level here, the top of this one, the top of this little range consolidation, this area. Looking at the screen, I think all I need is just an orange t-shirt. Brand appropriate. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I don't like that. Do I? That's what. Well, okay, so yeah. So I'm just playing with the settings on my stream software. Cool. Oh, it's a bit of a jump, wasn't it? What are we doing? We're coming to the end of the hourly. Half hour and half hour. Similar sort of thing here, bullish, long wicks either side and a bullish close. We've got 20 seconds left on this, so unless it suddenly drops down. Similar sort of setup. Potentially like annoying that I didn't see this as the support level for the entry. Kinda should have. Where is it? It's below. Back to 5. Yeah, so it is here, wasn't it? It was those ones because I was too reserved in that sense, being safe. It is what it is. Start of the 11 o'clock. Check on that half hour again. It did close in the same manner. More of a doji than this one though, to be fair, just because the wicks aren't as long and the body is smaller. Hour wise it's probably the same though. Where are we? Let's check hourly closes. We are above. Quite comfortably. The wick topped out. There is potential. Delete that. There's potentially more to give. I feel like down on with that. I feel quite confident that this would be, yeah, a little retest area. Looking at this support line, just how much of a difference if we tap into this liquidity bit up there, how much of a reaction you'd get from that. It's potentially aiming for this as an order block, which which will be good for us actually, because that's kind of where the take profit is. We need it to just come back, check this breaker block. So far, yesterday and today, not fully cooperating with my reserved approach. It is very much cooperating with the strategy. One minute was a quick ball. Doji actually looking at this one. My other screen's more zoomed in. Extended them. They look a bit more like this on the other screen. Made that candle look longer and bigger than it was. A little bit of dancing volume. There's a spread going on there. Wow, that's got quite wide. Just because I'm zoomed in. I think it's because I'm so zoomed in on the 1 minute, to be honest. Accentuating the spread. Made it wider. Bring that back down and it looks more normal. So where are we? 11 o'clock. I think till 1 at the minute. We may see some volume coming in just before 1 for the speaker. Words are not my friend today. Possibly that trend line there. That feels more what we're doing. Today, anyway. We hanging out here first. Sitting at the top of that channel without any real reaction. Falling short. We may just come up, tap into that, which would actually be the 5 minute liquidity area. Yeah. We potentially tap into it here. Come back down to the bottom of it. By that point, we'll be near our entry. Depends how wild it wants to go at 1:30. Temptation that I will delete the trade for 1:30, depending on how what's behaving like. If we're in it, obviously, but. Feeling. Look, we're right in the middle of that order block. As far as I'm concerned, that's null and void. Then we have got a couple here that are potentially for 1:30 when you get a bigger candle. Come down and grab and shoot up. What? Words. I might have to go and get something to eat. What I was trying to say. Alright. Always miss. Oh, look for my stress ball. Make a game of like mini golf out of it. Know what I'd do? I'd throw it, I'd miss it, and bounce and roll off the desk and. Again, we've moved. Well, we're a third of the way up our trade potentially, so yeah, about a 1-to-1 if we were in it. So we're not moved too far away. I was going to say we've moved too far away. Yeah, stop loss is the equivalent of that, so we are at about 1-to-1 moment. Still pull back to there and beat. Oh, a lot of people would probably Fibonacci this sort of stuff. Break a block Fibonacci it. Then like where's your bottom? Where's the really? I suppose if you went from here to here, that pullback is like 50%. I've got fib settings. What are they? Oh, there. There then. There. There you go, look, see, exactly. Can you see that from where you are? Not really. Start again. Go from the bottom of this one to the top of that one, because that was the low and that was the high. Yellow line is 50%. It's come back to that 50% and gone. So Fibonacci strategy works on that one. I'll learn it. High. That's a low, maybe. Don't really use Fibonacci. And the principle of all trading strategies is that they're all around half right all the time. Exactly. That's having a little drive in it. Down to make another low. We're getting a little pick up of volume in the market, I think. A little bit volatile. Waking up, they've probably got little alerts set at this top points, maybe. Dinging off at price levels. We're there again, aren't we? We'd gone up to that breaker block on the 1 minute. This bullish candle here. Gone for like a 50% inside the breaker block. We would have entered here. We would be kind of sitting at break even again. Closer to that point where it's going to run out of steam, isn't it? Chased once in terms of the structure move and we've broken out of it, so it's not really chasing, it's readjusting, but that's the terminology that I used. Kind of getting a similar sort of setup here. Wicks building the support, taking orders, ready to go. Gets up to here, it'll probably be that 5-minute liquidity pull. There. By the time it breaks through there, though, to go up to that, we'd probably get a breaker again. Goes. Bang, straight into it, look. And straight through it. If only I could get my entries right. Scary that it's pulling back that far, though. Why does it get wild at like 11:13, eh? What's the guy said? Like a news reaction, that is. Right. I know, we're just sudden bump in volume. I mean, I called it. It's not in the trade again. I think I just potentially just need to be a bit more aggressive with my entries. Like, this was perfect here. If I'd been aggressive with that, we'd have been fine. All I needed to do was just to sit on that trend line break that in fact, I think I had that the other day, where it broke and it came back and just respected the trend line, but my entry was just below it because I was being reserved. Thing is, if we make it up here, as I mentioned like a few minutes back, this is kind of where the Monday gap open was. It's going though, look, there we go, we've had a jump. Gap between those candles. It's still driving. Could have been well away. Checking on this 1 minute time frame. It does become potentially risky. 1926.51. That liquidity, sort of the area that I was discussing. Still got quite a go actually. Past take profit if we were in the trade though. Never mind. Well, the 1 minute's formed a nice candle. Gonna wick up again and then it would have been done and out of here without having to deal with the American volatility. I'd caught that earlier trade. Yeah. Just a slight miss in the analysis, in that sense of where the support line was, because we've got support here. We've got like another, that's exactly where it pivoted back to. So I should have been braver. I should have been more ballsy with my entry. I'm getting at. Question is, how brave am I for holding this as structure? I did kind of say that it would do this. It's got there earlier than I suggested. I did say that it was going to do this, and it could come all the way back down to here. Feel that equally, if that's a and it's driving down. It's driving down. Trying to. We'll see where this closes in 2 minutes. If it closes below, then we accept that it's just claimed all of that. Though it's taken it. But if it closes in it or above it, then we know that we can still probably look for more bullish momentum. Could have definitely been in down here or here. Probably more like there. Pretty sure they're drawn at the same level because it's top wick of this, aren't they? Yeah, so they are. If we close below this point, 10 minutes, we can say that the half an hour has wicked rejected. And if it closes down below this bullish, this one's the start of the half hour, but if it closes below this bullish candle, we've effectively got a bearish half hour close. Interesting turn of events. Then it would push down, wouldn't it? Big pivot for half an hour. 3.5k volume. It's pushing down still, but chasing that liquidity. So looking at it potentially, if this was a Bollinger Band or a channel, kind of broke the channel, respected it. It's wicked out of the channel as if it was breaking out, but it's closed below. Closes below this liquidity as well, which is a sign that it is going to potentially come back down. Maybe like this area. That point, stop loss is just above it. Still going down. It's broke that 1 minute, hasn't it? Yeah, so that 1 minute, no, the 1 minute breaker was down here, wasn't it? Okay. So if it breaks that, then we delete trades. Just too risky. In my eyes, it's too much risk, even if it's correct. And then the news comes at 1:30 and we wick to this breaker, because it's sort of the support origin, shall we say. It wicks to this breaker and then carries on bullish because all the liquidity is gone and blah blah blah. But it could be grabbing it, taking all of those short entries that sit above that pivot, driving down, pushing enough so it's broken that structure, so it looks as though it's bearish. People move stop losses and then it wicks and changes direction and just takes everyone off, picks them all out. People like me that are sitting at the bottom of the channel get the bullish turnaround, catch that explosive move up. But we've been having a steady up all day, so feels unlikely. But we've got 7 minutes. We are close to that 1 minute breaker. If we break this back, it disappears and we close below. I think we're out. As much as this could be a support line and it could still break, it will close below it, delete that breaker block, but then just instantly pivot back on itself. Not sure. This could be an order block where it's picked up and then it goes again. Oh, see? Too many what ifs, could do's and things like that. So I'm going to just stick to, if it closes below, trades are deleted. It's claimed liquidity on the way up. You watch it, it'll just tap into there nicely about halfway down, which is where I generally put my reserved entry, and then it will carry on up and break out of this and just keep going. And then it would be the conversation of, well, should have moved it, should have done this. The 5 minute candles are looking pretty like bearish though. Pushing up. And that last 5 minutes of the half hour candle. Hit the top of this with a nice wick here. Going. Back into it. It's taken effectively order block for 1 minute. To the source of this big candle. Come down to that support level. Gone. We're definitely right inside that pivot point. So if we close up into here, we're still, in my eyes, looking for bullish. Definitely trying to go. So what are we on? 4 minutes left. Hurrah! Oh, excuse me. We could be just creating. Well, that's a big bear candle. The imbalance. Excuse me. You got like the imbalance to fill of orders, void, however you want to call it, fair value gap. I don't know. It's not fair gap, but yeah. So it could just be picking those up. We've still got 3 minutes, and it could just drop down. It doesn't appear so because we are very much buying momentum, shall we say. Three minutes left. Expecting it. We're not closing below that 1 minute breaker still, because this wick never touched it. So we're like down here for the 1 minute breaker. 2.5 minutes left on that. Still holding. Sort of skepticism. Yes, I said that strangely. Like this entry point. Down, closing down. That class as an inverted hammer, even though it's not at the top of like a pivot? Or is it just going to... But 1 minute left, so it could just, the last minute, drive down. Oh! How did I bring that up? Don't know what key I pressed. I was rolling my stress ball up onto the keyboard. Obviously pressed the button. Safe to say we've closed below it. Although this is 849, this is exactly where the half hour liquidity is of 3.5k. Just like a pivot volume liquidity type stuff. Projected, closed in a bullish form. So effectively, just from this start, we've got a little bottom wick, bullish, long wick up to here, and back down. Closed below it. And we're still inside this. There's the resistance channel that I'd kind of drawn in terms of a close position of the candle. We'll ride it out for a bit because it's 11:30. We've still got, what, 2 hours? Till 1:30, so... Although I'm gonna have to go and get something to eat. I'll leave it on. I think I'll stay stream for this. Oh. See what happens together. Oh, my. Excuse me. I wonder where there's like hourly liquidity, if at all. I think until the very top from Friday last week. Down here either, is there? Okay. So there is potential for that whole move up to there. Not a huge amount. I think the market just closed on people, to be fair. No. Yep. Rimmed out and rolled off the desk. I give up trying to throw it in. Far too bouncy. As soon as it just hits the edge of the cup, it just doing. Okay, so on the minutes we do actually have a bearish breaker after we've rejected liquidity. So I still feel like maybe if we close below and delete this bullish breaker, then we close our trade or delete our trade. That. I understand that obviously we quite easily break that, find support still, even off of this bit, find support because of the structure. I get it, but I feel like that's a lot of a strong turning point. Is respecting this 1 minute currently. Go. Having a look where my stop loss would be if I moved my entry to second 1 minute. Second 1 minute break of block, the next one down. Stop loss would be at 200, so we would be sitting just below. But then we've got a lot of everything taken out, a lot of wicks, a lot of orders, as it were. Range, isn't it? It's like a consolidational range. It would push further down to this one if it's going to break that far down. Oh, it looks like we've respected that 1 minute break quite comfortably, to be fair. Lovely. Theme on those candles though. Vision could imply that it's going to drop again. That's the top. There's a little low turn. There's another lower turn. Doubt it. I'm feeling still like buyers. This just felt too risky to move to. Too risky for the chance. So impulsive, it obviously would have to come back, but because it's so close to liquidity, it could come back and keep going. The impulse could be to get it there so that it takes the liquidity to then drive. Couldn't take that risk. Oh, yeah. Doing something. Looking into that breaker again on the 1 minute. Rubbish. Ah, but the game. Hearted decided to play. How do we feel about this? Weird to do that. Possibly. One too many lines. What's the hourly doing? Is it bearish yet? A long way to go back up in 15 minutes. It's doable, but it is a long way to go back up. I'd need it to... I'd need it to come all the way down here. Just getting more and more sort of riskier in my mind, leaving that open just for where the support is. Look, see, even that, where these orders are for that support line. I feel like 130, patch that. It could even come all the way down to this pocket for that liquidity that's there. So it could just drive down. It's taken this top liquidity, it's hit that top order. News is good for the dollar. Oof, down it goes. Back down to where we started. I'll keep things open for now, but erring on the side of deleting the trade. Just my stop loss feels too much at risk. Even if it drops down and pivots back up, my stop loss feels like it's too much at risk. Again, this breaker block feels like it's becoming weaker and weaker each time. Still a high chance that we'll just suddenly go bullish and burst out. Excuse me. But I feel like it's working its way down, like it's collecting, sell, collecting, sell, collecting, sell. This feels like a weaker support now to me. Would come and crash through down to here. It's still reasonably strong and respected. Not tested it again since here. This was sort of a resistance. It tested that when it broke it. Like that would have felt, excuse me, it would have felt sour if I'd wicked in here. It's been like perfect execution. Right, it all the way up, break back down, run into the negatives, then hold here. Definitely finding a resistance point there. Price point that it's at now, it's finding more of a resistance to support, I think. Could break through it, like it's the market does what it wants, but whitewashed by the sun. I'm going to set an alert quickly just for this level here, take a quick minute or two. I'm going to stay muted just because I'm crunching on some crisps. We'll be watching the charts.
It's gonna be gone soon. What do we do? do?
Hey. We're still respecting level. Are we again in a holding pattern? Feels to be pushing down. We're going into 12 o'clock. Still relatively bullish. Even though it's got a very long wick, it's still relatively. Four minutes left on this hourly. What are the chances? Stop it. Stretch this right out for a bit. So I can see. I mean, we could still pull back this region. That's friend order block. Kind of pull back and carried on. This feels too risky, does it? Where this fault is kind of sitting, bang on the stop loss. Do I pull it back? Is it 2050? I know that this is the top. Speak of like a structure, a high wick or whatever. But I feel like from this orange down to this bottom, back up to this bullish before, this bullish is effectively breaking that structure. This has created a breaker block. B, this orange can. works the same with this. They're open, like their closing lows are very similar. Getting a nice push down for that last minute though. Didn't make a new high. Oh, quick candle close. Right on it. High. Still pushing down in it. I mean, we've not closed below that breaker, and I did say that if we close below, I would close or delete the position. "13 seconds left on that 7 o'clock candle. Now 12 o'clock will open, but I also understand, like if I'm saying like 13 seconds left and stuff, I'm reading the candle timer on the side of my screen, not the clock that's like down here. Times aren't quite synced. Like a few seconds discrepancy. Right, go on then, what are you doing? Flex this minute up to the big orange candle there, and then sell off. I feel like if there was an RSI here, this move here would have become overbought. Been pushing at that channel, we're close to overbought, and then it come back down. It pushed up to overbought and down, but I feel like this accelerated move react the shot. I mean, I don't like the RSI. Just not sure. It pushes back down this far. Is that too strong of a move? Correct and come back up again. Hit the top of the channel with slowly. Bottom. Didn't make it, didn't make it. Hit the top, hit the top. That one didn't really hit the top, did it? Get rid of them. Let's just get rid of them. Get about it. Working horizontally. We've got a breaker, light pullback, extension, low to simmer, break. We say the same here. So we've got break, light pullback, extension, low to simmer. So it could come back to here. Break. Doesn't feel that way. Okay, so the half an hour got a bullish breaker in the same way that I was saying that hourly should have, actually. Again, see, stop losses below that area. That 1 minute breaker has gone and turned bearish. Wasn't the 11 o'clock candle, the hourly, that did it. 12 o'clock was pushing into it. One minute's definitely closed below its potential own support line. Expecting this was an option I was talking about on the way down. This option for it. Guys, due to participate in a moderated discussion at the Economic Club of New York. Audience question. Federal Reserve Bank of New York. John Williams. More hawkish is good for currency. September was the last one. Okay, a little bit of a pullback on it. Does that mean we're going to pull back from here and continue down? When I get to the 7th of September, I can't on the 1 minute. Over October. The 8th. Say the 7th. Okay. So we obviously had a little bit of up and down on the news. 30. Doing much that day, was it? Well, he had a little speech and it didn't make too much of an impact time.
Footage of, pardon
Say the time of it, does it?
what seemed to be the south, what seemed to be the
Date.
Midwest as well. Francesca here at home.
Either way, if it was throughout the day, there wasn't really much movement, and then at 1:30, when we had whatever news it was, it made the difference.
And then turned into me driving my car to my wedding,
Not moving it.
wearing like sleep mask with blinders and some sort of protection.
No, we found support there. Okay. Back into that 1 minute. 2. Projecting comfortably. 2 seconds, mind, but had this support for a while. Gradual strength, down, down, down. There it goes, look. Literally for the last few seconds. Big rejection on it. We've respected that bearish breaker on the 1 minute. With anything from those orders, because we pushed deeper than the support of those orders that made this bullish move originally. Pulled back in to break a candle, which was a very big bear. And yeah, okay. Probably start to see some volume come into the market now as well. I mean, I still feel like we're heading down, so neck cramp.
No, I want to love you the most. Okay, but I love you. No, I love you. I love you so much. So I'm not very far behind. Yeah. I love you. Like no, only like 0.001% beyond.
That's as high up as I can put the desk. Right up on top of it. It forced me to stop slouching so much. Right, yeah, pulling back up. But found that support there. This is going to do the same because it's the start of the 12 o'clock call. And the breakers down here. Assume it would be here before. Closing through liquidity. Grabbed it. Into that bearish breaker block. Could just be checking it again. Got to make that step back up, I suppose. Hi. 1 minute, there was a liquidity down here that grabbed, gone. Sitting here, it's left some there, and it's taken all of those out nicely. Ejected off the. Stop moving that. Yeah, they were all sitting there stacked nicely, and it flipped them and gone. Look, there's so much sitting there that makes that stop loss just seem very risky. But now we are getting mixed signals here as well. Bearish breaker and a bullish breaker, like right on top of each. And it could just be picking that up back down still. Kind of did. Trust it. This area. It is clearing out this bearish breaker. Come back into it a couple of times. Like the way that it's come down into there to take that, I feel like it would do the same with this bit. Little support level, but the lower one here. Like a little support level, but the lower one here, what it's taken from. Again, that stop loss feels risky. Of course, order blocks that fit there. Do we move it to here? Hasn't been tapped again. The news could take off, but it could keep going up and come up to here, obviously. Like it might not even pull back. Like this could be it. That's the pullback there from just collecting this liquidity, and then it's just going up. So normally have my liquidity set at least at 250, so I don't get the lower ones in, but be respecting not all of them, obviously, but there. Like this one's been tapped and taken. Either like null and void or weak. Come down, it would keep going down. This one hasn't been. Affected. Like it broke through the others, closed within them or broke through them. This has been fully respected, collected, and had a drop down. Bullish. I'm low enough where my trend line was. Feel like my trade is like floating in the middle. I'm just going to close them. I'm going to delete them off. I'll leave leave that on there. See if and how, but losing confidence. So much so. Just at 150. clears it out. You'll get more on the 5 minute. It'd be nice if I could have this as a multi-time frame, to be fair. To set different like minimum levels per time frame. Right, I'm going to have to change my chair. work. Microphone there. Down just. Oh. Yeah, there we go. That's better, isn't it? More comfortable. Going bullish by the looks of it. On the 1 minute anyway. Turned back bearish. $12.30. What's going on? Starting to see some volume, I think, is what's going on. Right. We finding resistance at this level yet again? He dipped. Eventually. And this trade is, as I said, it's still cleared. But nothing waiting. Come to, in my mind, a bit of a pass. Since there's no, I'd say there's no direction, but there is, like, because we've been going up today, but given the time of day and the liquidity that we managed to tap out into, area that I said it'd get to, and it did get to it, and it's had a slight pullback. Now it's going again. Go up to here, which will be the top, the height of Friday. Be surprised if it did that at all. Yes, yesterday it got a little bit messy. Today it's held its bias quite strong. Given that it's taken some, stop moving that boxy thing. Given that it's taken some of this charge up to there, cover that gap, not make it to liquidity and drop like too much at the minute with this, with the way that it's going for my liking. Given that the strategy for me is after structure forms, not trying to guess what structures form. It's going to hold. be honest, although I was going to sit here through the news and live stream it, kind of feel like, seeing as I'm not sitting waiting for a trade, I've not got one placed. Need a break for lunch. I may finish and I just end the stream. Getting hungry, to be honest. I might finish the stream off. Give it another few minutes, maybe. See how and where and what, but full time on the stream very soon, I think, regardless to the 1:30. Not back till Thursday. I'll mention it again on Thursday, but next week, so next week Monday, which is the 23rd, streaming is going to be sporadic in the sense of times. There may be just very quick streams because I've just kids off school, things to do, and yeah. So there could be a week off streaming, or it could just be Monday that's the day off. Then what I'll do is I'll just stream like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, possibly Friday actually. I might be able to do that. Not 100% sure on the schedule. It's either going to be like, it'll be sporadic where it'll be short ones or not at all, or I might be able to get the time to just get a few days, but Monday is definitely not going to be a stream. So yeah, we're still kind of in that holding pattern. Like if this broke bullish, we would get a breaker block against this. I feel like if it breaks bullish, it's going to just drive. It's not going to come back and check. At which point we've missed it anyway. Alright. All right, that'll do me. I'm just sitting there staring into nothing, really. We'll be back for Thursday. Oh, yeah. What day is it today? Tuesday. We'll be back for Thursday. So we'll see you on Thursday for a stream. As for now, that's it. I'm going to be signing off.